Museum of the Moon was inspired by living in Bristol. We've got a 13-metre gap between high tide and low tide. And about 15 years ago, I was cycling over the bridge to work and noticing this huge tidal variation, and had an idea. Well, obviously, was thinking then it's the moon that makes that happen. Really, that tidal variation is caused by the moon. And yeah, that sort of gave me the idea to make a replica moon. But back then, the data wasn't available because NASA hadn't sent a satellite around the world, around the moon millions of times. And also, the printing technology hadn't been invented either. So that was 15 years ago. So gradually, the technology and data caught up. So the artwork suddenly became possible, maybe 4 years ago now, something like that, to create this artwork. And yeah, it seems to have been a great success.
Why did you call it Museum of the Moon?
Yeah, so the Museum of the Moon, I suppose I'm calling it Museum of the Moon because I'm kind of collecting stories and mythologies and from around the world as it goes. So the moon means different things to different cultures. So if we take the moon to China, they celebrate the moon as part of the Mid-Autumn Festival. Whereas if we take it to America, people will think about it in relation to the Apollo moon missions. So every culture around the world has got different mythologies and stories to tell about the moon, because we've been staring at it for about 200,000 years. So a huge amount of kind of cultural knowledge has an understanding and belief systems have grown and developed around the moon. So that's why I've called it Museum of the Moon, because we're kind of collecting these items, these stories and mythologies from around the world as it goes.
People may also be surprised to hear that although in photographs it looks incredibly realistic, you can see every crater on the face of the moon, and of course with this installation you get to see the dark side, the other side, that it is in fact just a smooth balloon, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's this illusion of texture that's created where, yeah, if you stand at least 2 meters away, then there's this amazing illusion of texture. And, you know, I toured the moon around India with the British Council. We had people asking me if it was made of sort of fiberglass or if it was made of concrete because of that texture that was there. It does look very realistic. A little girl asked me if I would put the moon back afterwards. So she thought I'd stolen the real moon. And so that was quite nice. Like, yeah, it's interesting to get all these lovely different responses as the artwork gets presented.
The reaction from people who come to see this installation, I mean, it's been suspended in public buildings over a swimming pool in the open air. And just recently, we've had what's Mary Redcliffe, Wells Cathedral, and now Bath Abbey. What sort of reaction are you getting from people?
Yeah, the reaction is extraordinary. I think it resonates with different people in different ways and different levels. So yeah, if you're a child, you just appreciate it for the beauty and the wonder of it. But, you know, I've had astronomers who get incredibly passionate about it. We get couples who get very romantic beneath the moon, and we've had a few wedding proposals. So it means different things to different people in different cultures. And I think, you know, because we've been staring at the real moon for 200,000 years, it's always been a sort of destination that people wanted to visit, somewhere to get closer to. It's just slightly out of reach. So by bringing it down into a gallery, it's sort of, yes, it's been very uplifting and emotive for lots of different people. We've had about 200 exhibitions of it now in about 33 countries around the world. It's been seen by about 10 or maybe 20 million people. So it's, yeah, certainly my most successful artwork that I created over about sort of 25 years.
Bath will be getting to see your moon installation. I think it is going to be a bigger Christmas attraction than the Christmas tree outside the Abbey. But at the meantime, we've got another installation, haven't we? The Earth doing the rounds. And am I right in thinking you've done Mars as well?
Yeah, so the Earth artwork we've got is of the same size. It's on a little motor to make it slowly turn. And that operates in a slightly different way. whereas we've been looking at the moon for so long, it's only been about 50 years that humanity has been able to see the Earth from space. And you just realize how much of the Earth is covered in water. Really, we shouldn't be calling our planet Earth at all. We should be calling it planet water, because our entire ecosystem and life support network, it all relies upon water. And then when you see the Mars artwork that I've made, you realize, yeah, just all that, there used to be oceans on Mars, and all that's evaporated. And actually you can see the residue of river estuaries that have all dried up, you know, billions of years ago. So yeah, they're doing the rounds, and they're presented in different ways. They come with a surround sound composition that helps to sort of connect the architecture with the sculpture, kind of creates the mood, I suppose, for it. NASA recordings. But also these artworks act as a venue for events to take place beneath it. So wherever it goes, there's a whole program of events taking place beneath the moon or the Earth. Often, and with the Earth, it's very much an environmental message to it. We've got an artwork, in fact, of the Earth going up to COP26. It'll be in the main atrium in a couple of weeks' time.
I'm pleased to hear that. Are you going to go ahead and cover the entire solar system? I mean, would it be possible to represent the sun?
I think, yeah, there's a couple of artists who've made sun artworks before. I don't think I need to make any more planets, to be honest. Yeah, it's been great, but it's always, you know, with my artwork, it's really important to keep moving on and changing and developing my practice. I'm sort of known initially worldwide for my street piano project. I put a load of pianos around Bath many years ago for people to play. And I've installed about, I think, 2,000 of them around the world. So they're very much a sort of participatory artwork. And then I did the big water slide down Park Street. So my, yeah, my practice is very diverse, and I'm keen to keep it that way.
Luke, we look forward to this installation, and hopefully bear us in mind in the future if you're coming up with another original installation idea, because I'd love to see more of it around our city too.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, I've realized I've had 600 exhibitions now in about 40 countries around the world, but I've only had one exhibition in Bath, which was back in 2010 with the street piano project. So it's I think perhaps, you know, Bath doesn't necessarily need to sort of promote itself as an artistic center, because it's got other riches, architectural riches. It's got the, you know, it's sort of history behind it. It's already drawing in the tourists. Whereas every other city around the world, you know, they want to be projecting themselves as being dynamic and risk-taking and creative. And a lot of that sort of heritage is already woven into Bath. So perhaps that's why I've not done much work in Bath in the last sort of quarter of a century.
Well, there's a lot of people would welcome anything you do anyway, but thank you very much. And if it's not too early, a Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, that does feel a bit early for me. That's good. It's nice to see you, and thanks very much.
Thanks, Luke.